So consumer VR traction is slower than many had initially anticipated, but it's still finding lots of small wins and is actually growing at a fairly healthy pace. But there are still lots of questions like who's using it, what are their motivations, and what experiences resonate most. So we set out for answers, working closely with Thrive Analytics. Artillery Intelligence authored questions to be fielded through its established survey engine to more than 1,000 US adults. And the result is wave 4 of the research and a narrative report we published to unpack the results. So what did we find out? First, 19% of respondents have used or own a VR headset, which is up from 16% last year. And they're doing so often, so 78% engage monthly or more. And this is key for VR, given that the adoption barriers can be high with things like setup. So the name of the game is ease of use and replayability. And we see that continuing to improve with the growth in the standalone headset category, such as Oculus Quest. And users also indicate that they like the experience. So 55% reported extreme or moderate satisfaction, while only 11% are dissatisfied, which indexes pretty well compared to other consumer technologies. So as for other adoption drivers, content is a big factor, but interestingly, content availability isn't as much of a concern as it was in past waves of the research. And we believe that's due to more compelling experiences that have been released in the past year, such as Beat Saber, and Oculus Quest's highly curated library of user-friendly titles, and the anticipation of high-end experiences like Half-Life Alyx. Now, as for the types of experiences users are interested in, cinematic is actually in the lead, followed by gaming and travel. And this is surprising given that watching 2D movies or video in a 3D environment isn't native to VR. So this is telling that users want what they're most comfortable with, even though it's not the best form of VR. And it'll continue to be conceptualized in activities that consumers know until compelling native experiences reframe their thinking. As for price sensitivity, demand inflects at $200 and $400, and these are the all-in price points for Oculus Go and Quest, respectively, which flows from Oculus's loss leader pricing that really gives them an edge and a growing market share. And another factor that's evident in these data and elsewhere is that simple wins. So we've seen the most success with headsets that have highly curated experiences and plain-spoken marketing that focuses on fun rather than listing a bunch of hardware specs. And that's the case for Quest and PSVR, which are technically inferior to higher spec rivals, and it's a very Nintendo-like approach, and it's working in terms of market share. So lastly, one thing that keeps popping up wave after wave of this research is that non-VR users report low levels of interest. So that's now at 29% of respondents, down from 27% last year. So the disparity between current user satisfaction and non-user disinterest underscores a key challenge for VR, which is that you have to experience it to really get it. It can't be captured in video or traditional marketing. So it's sort of a chicken and egg dilemma and a marketing challenge for the industry. And as we like to say, it's like selling TVs on the radio. So it'll take time and acclimation and price reductions for adoption to grow in sort of a slow-moving step function over the next few years. So that just scratches the surface. You can see more in the full report, including per headset breakdowns and other results. Meanwhile, the high-level takeaway is that VR's growth will be driven by continued downward pricing pressure, lots more content, and the lowered friction brought by standalone headsets. And all of these events will collectively push VR forward, but it'll be a gradual process.